Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, this is going to be my wish list for the TCG ban list. Is this list going to happen? No. Is this list perfect? No. This is entirely my own opinion, what I would like to see from Konami. That will never come to pass. But at the very least, I'm going to discuss it, discuss why I think the way that I do, and let's just hop into this. So, first and foremost, we have, I think, the card that so many people are currently calling for to be banned, and that is Artifact Scythe. Scythe, just like the Dragon Whelp, is another card that just locks you out of the extra deck. However, it's not archetypal. You can basically play this along with Dagda in just about every deck in the current format, and then DPE pop it, and you're off to the races, you know? You're just able to lock your opponent out of the extra deck, which tends to turn off a lot of decks. And with how crucial the extra deck is in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I am definitely okay with just banning this. It doesn't really hurt artifact players too much. I mean, it does, but who cares? They're artifact players. There's like 4 of them. But yeah, all in all, it's a problematic card. Moving on, we have Fairy Tale Snow. This was unlimited, or well, it was limited to one from previously being banned on the previous ban list, and then Branded Fusion came out, and we realized, oh no, this is terrible. So, yeah, just ban Snow. It was a mistake to bring this off of the ban list. It immediately became incredibly powerful, and definitely deserves a ban on this list. It's just so crazy. It can dodge, like, Called By, which is currently limited. It can dodge a lot of other effects, and, like, just save you in so many different situations. Basically, Book of Mooning, getting a free special, etc., etc. Absolutely crazy. And the fact that it is light is very, very important. Mystic Mine is on here. I just don't like Mystic Mine. I don't think anyone really does. Yeah, there's no real reason to explain this. It's Mystic Mine. I think it should be banned. Is it gonna be? No, not really. But I think it should be. I have Draco back on here. So this is my first hit to the Adventure Engine. Dracoback's incredibly problematic because it's basically instant or infinite discard fodder. And there's a lot of cards that require discards, so this being able to just add itself back to the hand constantly is crazy. On top of the fact that just having something that can target any card your opponent controls and return it to the hand, also very, very insane. On top of that, it adds protection to your Adventurer token, and it's just overall very, very solid. It's not my only hit to the Adventure Engine, but it is one that should hopefully push the actual Adventure Engine out of most decks without killing off the deck. That's my hope. I don't want to just kill off the Adventure deck. I just want to take the engine out of a lot of these decks and make it more of its own thing. So hopefully Dracoback does that. We'll see. Moving on, we have Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is getting more and more powerful the longer this game goes on because of the amount of graveyard effects, as well as effects that activate when sent to the graveyard. So all in all, Foolish Burial just seems like it's just going to get stronger and stronger, and it will inevitably need to be banned. Might as well ban it now. I genuinely think this card's absolutely crazy. So, yeah, just simple ban. Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds has been abused several times because not many decks utilize winds, and whenever there is a deck that is wind type that can utilize this, they tend to just lock your opponent out of special summoning. So there's that. It's been used in Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade, and now more recently with Flunderies. So this is a hit to, more specifically, Flunderies. You just ban this one in particular. I don't think any of the other ones are as problematic as this one because there are just literally the least amount of wind types. Wind is the least common type. And yeah, that's basically all. So yeah, there you go. I also put Boot Sector Launch on here because I am bringing down the power level of a lot of the other decks, and I think Dragon Link is still one of the best decks, and this is probably why. It really just gets your combo started. It allows you to basically get out a free level 8 tuner, or level 8 Synchro Monster, which is very, very solid. And all in all, just an insane card. Most decks are only playing one, so you can't like limit it to one and have that do anything. So I decided to ban it. I didn't really know what else to hit with Dragon Link besides just like hitting Tracer or something like that. But I feel like this was the best hit to specifically Dragon Link. Moving on, we have some extra deck cards. We got Verte Anaconda on here. This is pretty self-explanatory. Absolutely insane. Not future-proof. If it had an errata that said you could only use Predaplant monsters, or you had to use Predaplant monsters for the fusion summon, it would be fine. It doesn't say that. So you could just fusion summon out DPE. You could fusion summon out Dragoon. You can fusion summon out a branded monster. There's just like a million different things that you can do with this card. It's a dumb card. It deserves to be banned. Moving on, we have Crystron Helcafibrex as well. This card is also even worse future-proof. As soon as they print a good tuner, this card immediately gets abused with said tuner. It's happened for a while now, and when it was first printed, they had to ban so many different tuners just because it was constantly being used to cheat out a bunch of different tuners. This card's crazy. It just gets you into either really good synchro monsters, or you can do the Aurora Dawn line with Deskbot 001. As long as you're playing that one brick, you can basically go into a whole bunch of different monsters. So all in all, just very crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's Hulk. This one, Yazi, of the Evil of the Yangzing, is a bit interesting. This is a hit specifically for the Tenyi Sword Soul deck, because it just special summons a worm type. It pops itself and a card your opponent controls. So going second, this card's absolutely crazy. It's a nice level at level 7. A lot of decks can go into this, but it's more specifically a hit to the Tenyi Sword Soul. Yeah, just special summoning a worm type from the deck in defense position is a bit too generic at this point. You can go into the Tenyis, you can go into Yangzings itself, or you could go into the Sword Soul cards. Very, very strong card, just in general. And I feel like this is more so a problematic card than some of the other Sword Soul stuff, and I didn't really feel like Sword Soul was... I don't know. Sword Soul doesn't really feel terrible to play against. It kind of does, because it burns you for 12k, but still, all in all, I think this is probably a good hit. I think I have other hits for Sword Soul, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's going to be it for my banned card section. So let's hop into the limited cards, and I'll show you some more. Alright, so here are the cards that I wanted to limit, and before we discuss anything, remember, this is more so my opinion and what I would want. But starting off, we have Sword Soul Long One. I got those... I was going to say Guan Yu as well as Long Wan, but anyway. This card is... The main reason that I decided to limit this card in particular over, you know, Ecclesia or Qishao or Moye or something like that is because of the fact that this one burns. Like, that's just dumb. Because you can just win in time with this. So limiting it to one... At least you're not going to get multiple instances of the burn, as well as it does still hit the deck somewhat. It just makes them a little bit more inconsistent. Because this does special summon itself from the hand, allows you to go into Baron just like by itself. It's just like a overall very solid hit. Nothing crazy, but hopefully this doesn't kill the deck, especially since they just got new support. But all in all, yeah, for some reason it burns you for 12. So, as you can see, we also have Lampsies on here because this one also burns you for 500. I don't like people winning in time due to burn damage. So, yeah, But Prank Kids are also an insanely good deck. They took advantage of the Adventure DPE engine, probably the best. And just overall, they're still really, really solid, even with the Meow Meow ban. And so what I wanted to do is just limit their power level by limiting Lampsies. Yeah, this was the biggest, or this is probably the best one of the Prank Kids, and this would force them to use at least Fansies and Roxies a little bit more. You could still have the same number that most people are playing in terms of Prank Kids, but notably, you'd only have the one Lampsies, which does hurt their recursion, and like you can't get a whole bunch of burn damage specifically. So all in all, I like it. It doesn't kill the deck. You could still play the same number of Prank Kids, but it is at least something for Prank Kids. And with all of the other limitations to specifically DPE, with the ban of Verte, as well as the Adventure engine with, you know, Dracoback and Rite of Aramasir that I have on here, it should limit the Prank Kid deck a little bit more as well. We also have Fusion Destiny on here, limited to 1. I didn't want to hit DPE. As you saw, I didn't ban it. I don't think DPE is necessarily the problem, but I think actually Fusion Destiny is a problem. I also don't like cards being limited to 2, so I limited it to 1 instead. Yeah, you'll see that I actually get rid of all of the cards currently on the Forbidden and Limited list, and yeah, we, or sorry, not the Forbidden, the semi-limited list. Oh my gosh, my brain is hurting. But yeah, Fusion Destiny is a card that is problematic. Sorry, hero players, but this is genuinely a problematic card. Don't worry, I have some compensation buffs for you in the future. Magician's Souls is, it draws you cards, but on top of that, it special summons itself. This card is absolutely crazy. It is being played on a lot of decks because of the new ritual monster that Dark Magicians got. And now just a whole bunch of people can splash it into their decks. And yeah, I mean, this card was ripe for abuse as soon as it came out. And genuinely, this is a problematic card. It's, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just very, very strong. Yeah, that's basically it. Limit it to 1 so that it's not everywhere. Now, Branded Fusion literally just came out, and we already know that it is absolutely everywhere. I didn't want to hit basically anything else with the deck, so we just limited Branded Fusion to 1. This card's crazy. It just fusion summons using materials from the deck, which is why Snow was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I mean, look at how good Shaddoll Fusion is. Look at how good Gem Knight, or Brilliant Fusion, the Gem Knight Fusion, whichever one that is. I mean, look at, what is it? Red Eyes Fusion. Like, this is just ripe for abuse. Of course, it's going to be crazy good. But as long as you limit it to 1, I think that it can be played around very effectively. At the very least, it's able to be played around now. So, that's nice. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just Branded Fusion's absolutely crazy. We also have Rite of Aramasir. I kind of already mentioned this one being here. The reason I decided to limit this one is because I don't necessarily want the Adventure Engine splashed in other decks, as I'd previously mentioned. And I think limiting this one instead of the actual Enchantress is a little bit better, because that means, you know, if they fire off the Enchantress, that they probably don't have the Rite of Aramasir already in their hand, and it means that you only have to play through the one Rite of Aramasir. Granted, they could potentially be playing multiple copies of the other, of Fateful Adventure, but all in all, they do need the token for a lot of their plays, so I didn't want to just ban this card, because I still want Adventure to be playable as its own archetype, but, I mean, you gotta hit the Adventure Engine. I could ban something like Griffin, but I genuinely don't think that's as big of an issue. So, yeah, limit Rite of Aramasir. Now, Tri-Brigade is still a deck that is kicking around with the leaderless Tri-Brigade deck. Just not playing Samorg, playing the one Itenki, playing the one Recital Starling, and it's still good. It's still one of the better decks. Maybe not one of the better decks, but given the power level that I'm expecting from this limitation, I figured Tri-Brigade might become another top tier deck, might become another one of the best decks. So I kind of wanted to rein in the power a little bit more and hit the deck in a way that I would have wanted Konami to do, and hit Revolt. Revolt's absolutely crazy. It is a dumb, stupid card. It special summons on the opponent's turn, up to 4 monsters, and then it goes into a Link monster, which is absolutely crazy. Also, you get the effects of your monsters in the grave, which they have graveyard effects. Kit and Nerval both have graveyard effects, which are absolutely crazy. So, all in all, just, I don't know, this card needed to be limited in some way. Now you're a lot less likely to draw it, which is the main reason why I wanted to limit it to 1. Scale Drain was recently unlimited on the ban list. I think it was banned, came to 3, and I'm going to put it to 1 because this card is dumb. I don't think I need to say anything else. I just don't like this card. I didn't think that I needed to ban it, so I'm just limiting it. I also have Eldritch on here. Eldritch has been everywhere recently with 60 card variants of decks more specifically. So I figured, hey, let's hit the consistency of the Eldritch engine by hitting Cursed Eldland. Just limit it to 1. Pretty simple, pretty safe. I don't think Eldritch is necessarily that big of a problem. I don't think it's the Eldritch engine that's really creating a lot of the issues. I think it was more so the Adventure, the DPE, Hulk, stuff like that were really causing issues. But I still think that Eldritch is very strong. And yeah, we're going to limit this to 1. Nadir Servant to 1 as well. Dogmatica is still going to be very strong, especially since I don't really have much else hitting the invoked Dogmatica Shadal engine. But all in all, Nadir Servant's on here. I don't like it being at 2. Put it to 1. Moving on, we have E-Telly. I genuinely do not know why this card came to 3. I have no idea. It is such a powerful card. It's good in Phantom Knights. It's good in Virtual World. It's good in anything that wants to play a level 3 monster or lower. Just, this card's crazy. Put it to 1. Here we have another hit to our Flunderies. I don't like Flunderies. I think it's dumb. And yeah, Eaglin is more of a combo extender. You normally search the Eaglin and then normal summon it to get its effect. But all in all, it's still a very problematic card. So limit it to 1, just so that they're a lot less likely to draw into the Eaglin and cause them to brick even more often. Just, you're not allowed to play Flunderies, players. If I'm not allowed to play, you're not allowed to play. Moving on, we have Zodiac Barrage at 1. Dryden was banned. Just bring this back to 1. I don't think Zodiacs are going to go crazy. Literally, Dryden was the problem. I think you could probably actually unlimit this card, but I don't want to do that. I'm scared. Zodiacs are scary. Moving on, we have Orcust Harp Horror. I actually did a Banlist tournament type thing, and we had quite a few players playing Orcust with Harp Horror at 1 and Girsu at 2. And seeing that, I was like, man, Orcust doesn't seem that great even with Harp Horror at 1 and Girsu at 2. So even with Girsu at 3, as you can see, I didn't limit it or anything like that. I still think that Harp Horror will be fine at 1. It just makes the deck a lot cleaner and a lot simpler. It's still going to brick because it's Orcust, but all in all, I like this. It doesn't really make the deck like top tier again, but it will at least be decent. We have one more hit to the branded or Despia kind of deck with Guardian Chimera. This is the big boss monster of the deck. It has a way to protect itself with polymerization. It has a way to pop up cards and draw cards. It non-target destroys, which is absolutely crazy. It's a massive body. Overall, just a very, very solid card. And really good going second, or on follow-up turns 2 and after. So all in all, just very solid card. That now if we limit it to 1, you just have to deal with it once. You don't have to deal with it multiple times, and you should be fine. Moving on, we also have DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. This card is insane. It sets pendulum scales. I don't think I need to say anything else. It just straight up sets pendulum scales. In a already good deck. So yeah, limiting it to 1 means that DDDs are still playable, but they're not going to be able to, like, have their board wiped out, go into another Gilgamesh, set more scales, do it all over again. Which is, I think, more so the problem with DDD rather than, like, setting up a crazy unbreakable board. So yeah, just limit it to 1 so that they can't keep doing it over and over. Yeah, there you go. That's all the limitations that I have. Let's hop into the unlimits. So, as I had mentioned, we took all of the semi-limited cards off of the semi-limit list because, in all honesty, I don't think there's any need for any of those cards to be semi-limited. So, let's quickly talk about them. A hero lives. Special summons an elemental hero by paying half your life points. Most of the time, this is used as, like, a combo starter for heroes. But in all honesty, heroes aren't doing anything too intimidating, especially with Fusion Destiny being limited to 1. It makes them a little bit more inconsistent, so giving them a hero lives makes it a little bit better. So yeah, that's all. I don't know what else to say. I think some hero decks aren't even playing this card, so there's that. It's good, but it's not crazy. We also have Malicious on here as well. Now I know what you're saying. Hear me out. Hear me out before you go and spam the comments about how this card is crazy. The thing is, I genuinely don't think that a warrior-focused deck is going to need the extra copy of Malicious that it gets onto the field. I genuinely don't think that is going to be that big of a deal, right? Having an extra Malicious is nice. I don't know if it's going to break any, like, warrior or dark warrior decks or anything like that, right? It's not going to break their combos or what have you. And with that in mind, I also don't think that heroes cared too much at it being limited to 2, because they had copies 3, 4, and 5 with Destiny Hero Denier, basically recycling the Malicious to do it again. So I didn't really see it as too big of an issue to just bring this guy back to 3. Should I have maybe limited the card? Maybe. This is more so just like, let's put it somewhere other than the semi-limited list and just get rid of the semi-limited list. Because, yeah, I just don't like him sitting there all by himself. He's lonely there, you know. There you go. This is the only card where I could legitimately see it just staying at 2 forever. And I'd be fine. I'd be fine wherever this guy goes. Moving on, we also have Salomon Great Circle. Salomon Greats aren't doing anything. I don't think an extra circle is going to do anything. Scapegoats also at 2 currently. To be fair, you can't summon anything other than Scapegoats the turn you activate this. So it's not crazy. It's more of just like a survival tool, a stall tool, which doesn't really do much in the current modern metagame. Like, cool, yeah, you got 4 sheep tokens. That's great. I'm just gonna, like, attack into them with a piercing monster, which most decks, for some reason, have. Or they're just gonna, like, wipe your field anyway, and then just continually out-advantage you. I don't think Scapegoat's an issue. We have 2 different pendulum monsters on here in Astrograph Sorcerer, as well as Servant of Endymion. We keep giving pendulums their cards back, and they still don't do anything. I'm going to keep giving them their cards back. I don't think they're going to do anything. Not without Electromite. Are they ever going to get Electromite? No, that card's absolutely insane. That card's dumb. I've played against that card. That card is dumb. So yeah, all in all, yeah, you can have your Astrograph. You can have your Servant of Endymion. Is it going to break Pendulum? Probably not. It's not. Hopefully, the hope is that with this a pendulum deck at least becomes playable in tournaments, and that you can actually top with a pendulum deck. That is the hope. I would love to see all types of summoning be viable in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the same time. Right? Right now we have Fusion, Link, Synchro, Xyz, all viable. We are missing Pendulum. So I would really love to see Pendulums at least be playable. I took Infernity Archfiend off. For some reason, Archfiend and Launcher are still limited to 1. So there's that. Realistically, I think you could probably take both Infernity Archfiend and Launcher off of the limited list, completely unlimited them, and nothing would change. Genuinely, nothing would change. Because, I mean, yeah, just, it's not going to do anything more crazy than something like Dragon Link is already doing. It's not going to do something more crazy than any of those combo decks, Adamancipator, etc., etc., and it's just as frail. Like, if you hit a Launcher with a Quick Play Spell or Trap removal, or you negate, like, Archfiend, they just kind of die. Yeah, not a problem. Knight Assailant has an errata. It can come to 3. Sky Striker is not a problem. Hornet Drones is not the issue. However, yeah, this could probably come to 3. With Multi-Roll and Engage being both limited to 1, I don't think that Hornet Drones is necessarily an issue. It will make Sky Strikers more playable, and I don't know... I know for a fact Konami doesn't want people to continue playing Sky Striker for the, like, until the inevitable heat death of the universe. But, all in all, I don't think it's going to change much. You'll just see more people playing it. Yeah. Dimensional Fissure is literally one of my favorite quote-unquote floodgates. It's just good. It's just a good card. It can come to 3. Macrocosmos, on the other hand, maybe not, but Dimensional Fissure, yeah. Dimensional Fissure is genuinely just a good card. Well-balanced. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Victory Dragon is on here because people, specifically judges, hate it because you could just scoop up at any time. And then Victory Dragon doesn't do anything. So there you go. Victory Dragon. Moving on, we have Yatagarasu. Yeah, I don't know why this is limited. Locking your opponent out of a single draw phase doesn't do anything. It really doesn't. So, Yatagarasu can come back. Also, it does take up your normal summon, which... Okay. So, there you go. Moving on, we have Beatrice. Beatrice is, for some reason, limited to 1. I genuinely don't know why. This card can come to 3, no problem. So, here is my question for all of you. If this card comes back to 3, I know why it was limited, but if this card comes back to 3, is it going to do anything? Like, genuinely? With a lot of the Zodiac cards and other such rank 4s being just not as good, does this do anything when it comes back? It's a good card. I don't think it's a problem, though. I think this one can come back. I could be very, very wrong. There's probably some, like, FTK strategy that is all of a sudden made incredibly consistent because of this card, or something dumb like that. But, in all honesty, I think this card can come back to 3, and we'd be fine. Mirage Shalio is played at 1 in most Salamangreat decks anyway, even if this card is unlimited. I don't see this card coming back to 3 being that big of an issue. Like, genuinely. Salamangreat's not gonna all of a sudden become a top tier deck again. Because Gazelle is still limited to 1. So, there you go. Mirage Stalio can come back. Striker Dragon is on here because we banned the card that it searches. You're sure you can have a Link 1 for your Dragon deck. I don't care. Brute Sector launch is banned. So, there you go. That's all of the cards that I would like to see changed for my own personal benefit in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is more specifically for the TCG, as you can tell. But yeah, all in all, I think... Does this solve all the issues? No. I'm not too familiar with specifically the newest meta because it is so new. So even with that, though, I think we hit some very important cards. And all in all, I think this would be fine. Anyway, tell me down below in the comments if you guys agree or if you just think that I am absolutely terrible and I am the scum of the earth because I have unbanned Victory Dragon. I know, I can sense it in your brains. You all hate this card. No, I'm just kidding. But all in all, I would love to hear what you guys think. If you did indeed enjoy this episode and you want to support me, you can check out my Patreon down below. And if you liked this video, give it a like down below as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. I literally just said that. Anyway, just remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.